It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Yes, I feel fine because I'm here with my pal and we're talking movies. We're talking post-apocalyptic movies. And today we're talking about Children of Men. Post-apocalypse, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Post-apocalypse, apocalypse, what have you. We'll talk about a little bit more in the episode right here on Mallard Matinee. Yes, this is Mallard Matinee. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Again, we are talking about Children of Men, a 2006 movie by Alfonso Cuarón. And I haven't seen this movie for probably 20 years, since this movie came out, basically. And the theme of this month, yes, it was supposed to be post-apocalypse, but the two movies we picked, we kind of picked movies that are kind of like during the apocalypse or like pre-apocalypse.
Yeah, they're like when the tipping point. We're at the tipping point or just before the tipping point where you see which way things are going.
Yeah, there's still a semblance of a society. You know, people still have jobs. People are still doing their day-to-day sort of stuff. But there is a lot of war happening. There's a lot of death happening. It's definitely the start of an apocalypse. Like, so, yeah, saying post-apocalypse might be a little incorrect, but that's what we're going with.
You might still be able to go to a grocery store, but they're not going to have everything that they should have.
Yeah.
What you need is probably,
There's definitely, like, litter all over the place. People aren't quite... They're not living normal lives like they are now. Things have definitely changed. But before we get into the movie itself, let's introduce ourselves, starting with yourself.
I'm Lewis Lightning. My first experience with Children of Men was this viewing. Like, I never watched it when it came out. I heard of it, and I'm surprised that you said it's like 20 years old, because I knew about it for the longest time, but I never watched it. And like, I love Clive Owen, who's like the star in this, and I was like, wow, never watched the movie, never cared about it, and it's 20 years old. Wow.
Honestly, looking at this movie, I'm surprised that it is 20 years old, because I think it stands up really well. It's a movie that has stood the test of time, and you don't really see the cracks. It's a pretty good movie. And so I am country boy, and I saw this movie back in the day, back when it first came out, either 2006, 2007, sometimes in that area. And that's the first time and only time that I'd seen it until this viewing that we just watched it for this reason. And yeah, I remembered liking it back then. I don't remember how much I liked it. I think the reason why I chose it as a post-apocalyptic movie is because I remembered more of the back half of the movie with all the war and all the people like dying. Yeah. I remembered more of that, and that's more so in the back half of the movie. But the front half of the movie doesn't have as much of that. It's definitely more of just like things are just starting to crumble, starting to fall apart.
This movie, it starts off and it's really like he's still going to work. He's punches into the office. Everyone's still watching TV. There's like you know, people have little trinkets and stuff on their desks and stuff, and it's like
they still have news broadcasts and stuff too.
It feels a little harsh, the world. Like there's an immigrant problem, I guess.
Well, like the very first thing, he goes into a coffee shop, and as soon as he leaves, it blows up. Like somebody bombed it, right? So there's obviously like a lot of people are not very happy in the way the world is going.
Yeah, but it's not like I don't know, like The Last of Us, where people are crafting things together out of whatever junk they can find.
Yeah, it hasn't.
It's not like that.
It hasn't reached that level yet. Like it hasn't been completely destroyed and demolished. Like there's still like buildings and vehicles and stuff you can use, no problem. And people haven't completely gone to war with each other like that as much. You know, there is. It's definitely getting there. It's definitely getting there.
And it feels like there still is a lot of people in the world, despite like the whole premise being that there are no children being born for the last 18 years. Yeah. It still feels like a really populated planet. Like he goes out to the woods and there's like just huge like groups of people that come and attack them, but there's like you know 30 people like just chasing through the woods.
Like that rebellion or whatever it was. Yeah, for sure. So I guess we can get actually into the movie. So the premise of this movie is that no children have been born for 18 years. And so kind of society has kind of started to crumble. People, the normal things that have been, you know, like schools and like daycares and anything that you associate with children or kids no longer exist. And it starts off right at the beginning of the movie, like the youngest person in the world, 18 years old, was murdered. He was killed, and he was basically like a celebrity because that's what they do. The last person that was born ever in the world is big celebrity. So everybody's kind of keeping their eye on, like they're a big part of like the big social scene. But yeah, I love the premise of this movie. And I had a good time with it. But let's start with, I guess we'll start with some actors. We should go into the actors. Clive Owen, we already mentioned him. So.
Yeah, I like Clive Owen a lot. In this movie, he kind of feels like he's kind of shut down quite a bit. Like, not as an actor, but as the character. Like, he's just, like, when that kid dies, there's so much mourning going on. He's like, oh yeah, I think this hit me particularly hard, but you can tell he's not into it. Like, he's not really.
He says he thought that the kid was a dickhead.
Yeah.
He never liked him anyways.
And they're talking about the Human Project, and he's like, I don't give a... Like, so he feels kind of detached compared to everyone else around him anyways. And actually, I feel like that would be me. I'd be like, yeah, so no one's being born. Like, what are you going to do? Like...
Yeah, like, he's basically just going about his normal life, and he's kind of removed from like the rebellion or the military or the governments of everything, and he doesn't want to be a part of that. He just kind of gets sucked into it against his own will, basically.
I have to ask though, with just an aside here, Clive Owen, what else has he been in? Because I feel like I've seen him in a few things, but I can only think of Shoot 'Em Up.
So the thing is, Clive Owen, I think he was a pretty big actor in the early 2000s. Like 2005, I think it was. He was in Sin City, which was a pretty big movie. Then he was in Children of Men, 2006. 2007, I believe, was Shoot 'Em Up. And then, for my money, I don't really know him from that much more other than that. Like, he's a good actor. I don't know why I haven't seen him in things in recent movies.
I feel kind of the same way with that. I can't remember the actor's name. I would say it's like Vince something. He was like Bullet Tooth Tony in, was it Snatch? Or something? The guy, he's like a big guy. I can't remember his name, but...
Yeah, I can't remember.
If I come up with it, I'll bring it up later. But yeah, he reminds me of another actor. Anyways, who else is in the movie, John?
So we got Julianne Moore, who is the one that kind of brings him into the rebellion. She's part of it. They used to be an item. They had a kid in the past. The kid passed away, and they broke up. They're no longer together, but they kind of keep in touch.
Yeah.
So she brings him into it. So what do you think about Julianne Moore?
I find her kind of like all her roles that she's not really that big. Like whenever she's in a movie, like she can be like a supporting actor, but her role always feels kind of like lesser. Even here. Because here in particular, she's only in the movie in the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah, she's definitely more of a supporting actor.
Yeah, she just shows up and then she kind of disappears, which it was decent, but I feel like as soon as her character kind of got more personality and chemistry, that's when she got written out of it. And it's like, oh, well, that was that.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of got hints of what went wrong with her relationship, and that you see like a spark of them kind of maybe whatever they had is heating up again.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
Yeah,
that's about it. Like, you kind of want to figure out more, which I think this movie kind of suffers throughout. Like, not to get too far ahead, but like they do have a lot of like the tell and they don't they tell, they don't show, and that bothers me. Like, oh, the son died. Well, how did the son die? Well, it was a flu and he got sick, and that's just all they tell you. It's like, oh. Mm. Okay.
Well, I know Alfonso Cuarón mentioned, I read somewhere that he doesn't like a lot of exposition. He doesn't like having to show people all the backstory of everything. He wants the story to kind of basically tell itself, play its way out naturally. And you learn things throughout the movie as the movie plays out. Which, for certain movies, I actually appreciate that. Other movies need that exposition. Yeah. I don't know if it needed the exposition. I just know that they had a kid, it passed away, and they broke
For that in particular, no, maybe not. But there's other things in this, like... Exactly how are people not able to have kids? Like, what's the background to that? Like,
yeah, they didn't say.
We don't go into it.
They said they mentioned that it's the women that they cannot get fertilized. They can't fertilize the women for whatever reason, which is something that's different from the book. I know the book it was the men their sperm, they had like no sperm, so they changed that from the book apparently. I'm not sure why they did that, but yeah, the women they weren't fertile apparently. That's all it was. It was the women's fault in the movie.
Okay. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they did say it. They did mention. They said that the women aren't fertile. So that's Julianne Moore. I think she's a terrific actor. And kind of like you said, she is more of a supporting actor. She's not usually the main. Like, only main movie I could think of that she was like the main actress that I thought she was really good was Hannibal, which is the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. And she wasn't as good as what can I think of the actress in Silence of the Lambs?
Jodie Foster?
Jodie Foster, yes. So she did a much better job as that role, but Julianne Moore still did a serviceable job in that role. But in this movie, just as the love interest or ex-love interest of Clive Owen's character, I thought she did a good job, serviceable role again, and like you said, she was only in it for a short amount, and then I thought it was pretty drastic when she exited the movie, and we'll get into that. It was pretty drastic moment. And then we'll get into someone else that I think we're both familiar with from the Doctor Strange movies, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, I was glad to see him. Like, I do like him as an actor. I wish I'd seen more of his stuff, because whatever he's in, I just haven't watched a whole lot of until Doctor Strange. And even then, he was in Doctor Strange and then he's gone.
Yeah,
like he's been in stuff since, but I mean for the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
like he wasn't Tenet. Tenet's him, right?
No, he's not in Tenet. 12 Years a Slave, I want to say.
12 Years a Slave, yeah.
And that was terrific. I mean, check that movie out. That's him, like at the peak of his acting, I think. But I think he did a great job in this movie.
Yeah, here you can tell this was still the early days of his career. Like he doesn't seem to have that confidence or star, although he is still very good. But yeah, you can see what he's going to become. Like he's probably 90% of what he's going to, like what we know him for now.
Yeah. And
he's great. Like if I would have watched this back then, I'd be like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's a terrific actor, and he did a great job in this movie. Like it starts off like he's with them and he's with their part of the resistance or whatever, and then you hear like the talkings and goings on about what their intentions are with the pregnant woman that's in the movie. That's spoiler alert if you didn't see the movie. There is a pregnant person in this movie. But yeah, you hear what their intentions are, and Clive Owen kind of takes it upon himself to have to save this girl from the bad stuff. And him having that like slightly menacing, he's not like mustache twirling evil, but you can see like he's got their own intentions aren't what the mom wants for this child, and it's understandable.
I feel like he didn't. Chiwetel Ejiofor? Is that, I don't remember to say.
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel, yeah. Anyways.
I could be saying it wrong.
But I feel like his character's end was kind of ambiguous. I don't remember him actually getting, like he's getting shot at, but I don't think they actually show him getting offed.
Well, I remember where he was. He was holed up in that corner of that room.
And there was like a window right next to him.
And there was a big explosion, so you just kind of assumed that it blew up.
But I remember him yelling at him at Clive Owen as he's leaving. But I don't remember him actually getting offed.
No, you don't really see his body, I guess, if that's
so. To me, that felt like it was kind of open-ended. I don't know how to feel about it.
He could have survived. You never know. He could have survived.
Yeah.
So that's him. And then I'll go to a classic actor. We got Michael Caine as Jasper.
Yeah, I mean, definitely probably my favorite in this movie as a character. I mean, I like Clive Owen a lot. Like as an actor, Michael Caine's up there with him too. But in this movie, he's my favorite character, I think. He's definitely, I don't want to say hamming it up, but he's putting more into the performance than I think anyone else. I like Michael Caine a lot in this. It's still very much Michael Caine, although he puts a little bit like, I'm going to be like a little bit of a hippie kind of like.
Oh yeah, the long hair.
An old hippie, like even his attitude about the music and stuff and whatever. Yeah. So I liked him a lot, but again, he's not in there a whole lot. He shows up for probably in total like 20 minutes, I don't know. And
it's soon after Julianne Moore's character gets removed from the movie. A couple minutes after that, he kind of gets removed from the movie.
So so it was like, eh. But I mean, I liked him. I wish that he was maybe part of the team longer, because the people that we are with are like nobodies. There's like the pregnant woman is, I don't know, kind of there, but then she has like this nursemaid woman who, I don't know what her deal is, but she's not a big actor or anything.
No.
Doesn't do a whole lot of heavy lifting.
I didn't even write her name down, but we could mention her a little bit too.
I don't think she's really worth it.
I don't know. She's mostly there just to like service the pregnant woman. Well, we can mention the pregnant woman. I got her name written down.
But I was gonna say that woman probably, you didn't even need her in the movie, I would say.
Yeah, I guess just, I don't know. She really couldn't.
There's that part where she's like doing some kind of Tai Chi or some kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, is that going to come up again? No, there's nothing to do with anything.
I guess. Well, she was also there because she was. I don't know if she was a nurse or if she was a doctor. She was talking about being at the hospital.
She used to be working on an maternity ward.
Yes, and she was one of the ones that noticed like none of the new babies were being born, and she calls her friend at another
she does a little bit of exposition.
So it gives you a little bit of backstory, but I guess that could have been anybody other than her too.
She does the breathing thing too. She tells her about the breathing, which comes up later. Which I don't know. Is that a huge necessary thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it could have been another character that did the same thing.
Yeah, the pregnant lady, you can go on.
But yeah, I'll go with her. So her name is Claire Hope Ashity, and her character's name is Key. I thought she was good as like a new mom. She had a bit of an attitude about her too. Yeah. She's a pretty black woman, and I liked her as an actress. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything since then. I don't know if she's continued acting, or maybe I just haven't recognized her or anything, but I thought she, as a pregnant woman in a post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic world, I think she did a good job as this woman who's trying to protect her baby.
Like, I do feel she gives that inexperienced mom vibe, but as a character, like, what's her personality besides always looking to, like, Theo? Is it Theo?
Theo? Or Clive Owen?
Always looking to Clive Owen's character, like, or something
I put Theo is what I wrote down as Theo, I think.
That's all she does the whole movie, which, okay, I get she's a young mom kind of thing, but, like, she doesn't, like, you know, if she liked hip-hop music, or she starts talking about if she had a bad relationship, she has none of that. That's what I mean. Like,
okay,
she does her role well, but it's just so, like, 2D. There's nothing to it. There's nothing really.
Yes, you're definitely not getting like a backstory of like what her family was like, or where she grew up, or what. Yeah, what
but, like,
makes her tick.
Yeah, the more interesting characters are guys like Theo or Julianne Moore's character.
Or Michael Caine's character. He grows pot. You know, the strawberry cough.
Yeah.
I want to try that stuff. I bet it tastes like cough. He tells the cough, it tastes like strawberries. But yeah, I know what you're saying, because her character basically is to be this pregnant woman in this world. That is her character, and she doesn't have much of a backstory that we know of. And maybe that's okay. I don't think we really needed a backstory for her. No. I think just her trying to survive and have this child is enough for her character. And it's a big deal because, like I said, there hasn't been any children in the world for 18 years. So for this to be a pregnant woman in this world and this rebellion trying to protect her, but they also have their own means. So yeah, we can kind of get into the story, I guess, though. We can get to the story. So like we mentioned, it's been 18 years. No children been born, and Clive Owen's kind of been thrown into this situation where he has to protect her. He meets up with Julianne Moore's character. Well, they put a bag over his head and they kind of whisk him away and steal him. And he's kind of, they bring him with them. And I'll say one thing that this movie does really well is the single tracking shots of this movie. They did it a few times in this movie. And one of my favorite moments is when they're in the car, and this is like Julianne Moore's demise, this moment when they're driving in the car, and then you see like this one car come rolling down the hill, and then the camera is just panning around everybody inside the car, and it pans around the outside, and you can see the car come down, and then you see the people running down the hill, and then you see Julianne Moore get shot, and you're like, holy shit.
They had so much time to do anything with that car. Like, oh, you're not going to make it. They don't speed up, they don't slow down, they don't turn, just they go until the car in front of them, and then they're like, oh, well, now we're stuck, we have to back up, and they get ambushed. It's like, come on, like, who would fucking drive like that?
Well, I don't know if you're going to want to... You don't realize that it's going to be an ambush coming right away.
I don't know.
You see this car come, you're like, wait, what the hell, what do we do? I can see the hesitancy when a burning car is coming.
I don't think in that society you hang around. Like, he was on the train, and they're fucking throwing shit at the train for no reason.
But at the same time...
They blew up that fucking...
Chiwetel was the one driving, too, and he was working with a bunch of the people that were part of that. So it could be him just totally being, like, faking it out and stuff. Yeah, that's one moment with like the single tracking shot, and then they get out of there after Julianne Moore dies, and they go to a farmhouse, and they get there and they hold up, and that's when you learn that this girl is pregnant. You see her belly, you see her front naked, you see the boobs too. It's just and inside the barn, and that's when Clive Owen learns about her. And what do you think about the story and anything that happened?
Oh well, overall, I found it very like what I thought of the plot, just like, oh, it's probably them trying to, like, someone's got a kid and they gotta take him through the apocalypse. And I was like, yeah, it felt very paint by numbers to me. I was not too impressed with the overall story. Like the part where the people we think are the allies are actually betraying, like they kill Julianne Moore's character and they're trying to get the child. Like that's where I kind of like I watched the movie and everything, but that first bit until Julianne Moore gets killed, I was like, I feel like I wasn't really paying attention. I feel like I was asleep because I was just like, this is just, yeah, I know, I get it. And then once that happened, I was like, oh, there's something to actually interest me in this movie again. Like the turnabout. I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of paid attention more then.
You weren't interested when Clive Owen went to that art guy's house and his kid was playing that game on his phone with the weird controls on his fingers, and there's a flying pig in the sky.
I totally forgot about that until now. I don't think I even made any notes about it. I do remember it.
Yeah.
Like, because that was it his brother or someone? I want to say it was his brother.
I don't remember what the relationship was.
But I know that the kid like was slamming stuff. He doesn't even react or whatever. They're just yelling at him. he had like the David, the statue of David, but it's like the leg was broken because everything.
They stick the wiring underneath it. Yeah.
But like there's a lot of questions I have about the movie, like how the world got that way. So like all the immigrant stuff, which was very in your face in the movie, how about they're detaining and deporting all these people. But it doesn't. The bigger reason of why, like if you're not having kids, why are you getting rid of all these people?
No, see, and that's the things. I don't know if you want to ask all the deep questions like that. Like, what's the reasoning for why they're deporting people and why they're killing people like right outside of the bus too? Like they're murdering them. I don't know. I don't know exactly why they're doing all that stuff. I just know that that's the way the world is now after things have gone to shit, and I just accepted it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need more. I need more explanations. I don't really remember them specifically saying why they turned on Julianne Moore. Like they wanted the baby, the pregnant woman for what?
I don't remember why. I don't know what their reasoning was. If they said it, I must have missed it because I didn't write it down or anything.
I remember them saying that like because it was the guy on the motorcycle was the one who shot through the window, and he was like that long-haired dreadlock guy.
Oh, Charlie Hunnam's character.
Oh, that was him. Okay, I hardly ever get any close-ups of him, but I knew right away. Okay, these guys are actually bad because they're talking about like, oh, you guys bomb these places. Like, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore, and blah blah blah. But then he said something. He's like, you have bad breath, and it's like, okay, that is an indisputable thing. You don't like turn around and come back. He just starts arguing about that. It's like, okay, he's a bad guy definitely because they're just putting this out there. It's not like a matter of opinion. This guy just has stinky breath, so he's got to be bad. You got to make something negative with the bad guys all the time, right? Like that's how it works.
I guess
like, the Wicked Witch has a big mole on her or a big wart on her nose because she's a bad person.
Yes, you got to have something negative about them.
Bad guys are just rotten inside.
That's the rotten coming out. Yeah, that stinky breath.
So I was like, okay. This guy's bad. I didn't know the whole organization, but I was like, this one guy in particular, he's going to betray them or double cross them. I knew right then, this guy's not good.
Also, it's Charlie Hunnam. He's just a bad actor, so he's bad.
But yeah, so I like some of the set pieces and stuff. I really wish with Michael Caine's character, like his wife, I was expecting that to be something that she was mute, she's not talking.
I think that just grounds him to like having to stay home. Like he can't go out and be part of the.
Yeah, but like I don't even remember really what happened with her that she went mute. I don't know if that was explained even.
No, I don't think that I need explanations for a lot of this stuff. It just things are the way they are. And I don't need things to be told to me. This is just she's a mute. Well, at least she's not just a mute. Like she doesn't like do anything. She just kind of sits there too. She drinks the soup.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
But then there's stuff like a lot of my stuff I have written down are like questions like, in one of the opening scenes there's like piles of dead horses and they're all burnt. And it's like, okay, why are they burning the horses? Like I thought this was a human problem. Like, was something up with the animals? You don't know.
Speaking of the animals, did you notice like all like the pets and stuff, the animals that are in the movie?
Well, there's the dog Michael Caine has.
Almost every scene has different animals.
Yeah.
Like, there's mostly dogs.
Cows at the barn.
It's mostly dogs.
The dogs at the farm.
So apparently, like in this world, because you can't have kids, the substitute that people kind of gravitated toward was having animals, having pets as their children. And so even if you see like advertisements on like the side of the bus, it was like for pets and stuff. Like that's what most of that's the things. That's why there's more animals in this movie than there probably would be in most movies. Because a lot of people were using it as a substitute, as no children.
Yeah. I remember there was like some company I kept seeing, and I was like, "What is this?" I want to say it was like Blue, and I was like, "What is this?" Is this like I thought it was like a bigger conspiracy, and I felt like the government was in a conspiracy because when they're watching the news, they say that she was in a shootout with police, and that's how she got Julianne Moore's character was in a shootout with police, and she was killed. It's like that's not at all what happened. Mm-hmm. So like, okay, the government's covering it up.
Yeah, they're changing things to their story.
But the movie really has nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm. So, some things I don't know if you. I liked like when Clive Owen's character heard what they were saying they were gonna do with the baby and the mom. That he was outside and he didn't have his shoes on. He's in his socks, and he actually for a while he didn't.
It's coming up.
It did. It came up. I love that he was like in bare feet, or he was in socks, I should say, and he had to run out of there with basically no shoes on. Yeah. And later on, he finds like some flip flops. The only thing that would fit his feet.
Yeah, he was. I think the guy's name is Jasper, Michael Caine's character. He has like shoes they're trying, but the only thing they have are flip flops that work for him.
Yeah.
And then...
And it looks cold outside, too. Like, that'd be cold to be in flip-flops. Like, I'd say, like, it's like maybe 2 degrees outside, it looked like.
I don't think it's until they get to, like, the refugee camp or whatever that is, that, like, that one guy gives them shoes that actually fit.
Yeah.
And then that guy gets off, too, like, really quick. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be, like, another leg of this thing. They get about, like, 20 feet to get captured, and that guy gets shot right away. I was like, and this is something that Clive Owen brings up, his character Tio, when they're talking about what to do with the pregnancy. He's like, oh, should we... we should let everyone know. We should let everyone know that about, there's a child, it's a pregnant woman. And like, no, everyone shuts it down. Like, why? Like, everyone seems to be so in love with the idea of young people that they're celebrities just for being young.
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, so what was the reasoning behind not making it public? Did they, like, I thought at first that the government was behind it. Like, they're doing stuff, like, because I think even Michael Caine's character says something about the government is, like, tracking people or controlling something in the water or some shit like that. And I was like, oh, maybe they actually are? And that's why no one wants to reveal, because they'll try to get rid of these kids or own the kid or whatever.
Do testing on the kid, probably.
But yeah, it's never really explained.
And I think the reason why, like, Chiwetel Ejiofor's character and their group wanted the child as maybe, like, to be the new Messiah, as I'm thinking, because it was almost like they were surprised later on when he's like, what does he look like? What is he? And they said, it's a girl. And he was almost like, oh, like, you didn't even think of that as a possibility that he would be a girl. And it's like, that's what I think their idea was, just to be like the new Messiah, and like for them to be like almost, I don't know, like God or like Jesus or whatever, but that's what I'm thinking it was kind of meant to be.
But I was like, I know you said that it was the women who were infertile, but like no one cared about who the father was of this kid, and I was like, that seems kind of important. Like,
well, I think Clive did ask, and she just kind of brushed it off.
Yeah. Well, she said she slept with a lot of guys too, and it wasn't just that, like, one person that she knows for sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think maybe he's a key to this, perhaps, or
you think it might be important, like the fact, but like I said though, it was the women that were infertile, and that was the reasoning. It's not the sperm count like the book says.
The one thing that was also kind of interesting, well, a couple of things that are interesting in this movie is how, like, this is you said 06 movie, and yet they got, like, a lot of, like, there was a pandemic, there's like a flu or something they're talking about, which that happened in real life.
Pre-pandemic.
And then, like, a big thing about immigrants, which is getting a bigger thing, especially in Europe, which is where this takes place in London, and not London, England.
Yeah.
So, like, that's really kind of on the nose, all that stuff that happened there.
True, there's a lot of true-to-life stuff happening nowadays, but back then.
Yeah, then I was like, well, if this is, the real world, like, there'd be drones. They would see Jasper's house in the woods with drones and helicopters. You wouldn't be able to hide, but they couldn't know the rise of drones at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why they stopped to watch Jasper. Like, after he's like, oh, get out of there, get out of there.
I don't know. I thought that too. Like, you think that he wanted you guys to leave, so just leave.
Yeah. Like,
you don't need to see his demise.
And how easily those guys kept finding them. I was like, how did they keep finding them? Like,
yeah. Was there a tracker on them or something like that?
Is it really that small of a place? Like, they found him in a refugee camp. Like, how did they know they were going to be there?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing they knew who Jasper was just from the relationship with Julianne Moore. Because I don't know how Julianne Moore is related to Jasper, because he had a picture of them.
Yeah, was Tio related to him?
Theo, I wasn't sure. They might have mentioned this again. I didn't write it all down.
They had pictures, so they're at least if they weren't family, they were close family friends.
Yeah,
but like, not even that, but like just like the refugee stuff, like when that happens, and I was like, like they just keep showing up everywhere, and it's like, how do they know all this crap?
Well, because I think they know exactly where they have to go.
Well,
so they're just basically following the trail that they would need to take to get to these places.
Jasper set it up with, what's that guy who always talks to himself in the third person? I can't remember. I think he might have written it down, or whatever his name was.
Like an actual actor that talks about himself in the third person?
Yeah, it was like the guard. He was like he worked at the camp as a guard, and he's like, was Sid? Maybe it's Sid.
Sid or Seth? I don't know.
He was like the because they go to a school or whatever, and then fucking the cop shows up. He's like, you got to call him a fascist pig.
Oh yeah.
That guy could call himself the third person.
That's the guy that gave them his wife or whatever gave him the room upstairs to have the baby.
Yeah.
And then once they found out that they had a bounty on their head, then he wanted to.
Then he turns it around.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I wrote his name down. I liked him.
I liked him too. I thought
he turns on him.
Especially when he said "you're fascist pig." I was like, ah.
When he turns on him, like, yeah, and then like fucking everything going on like in the refugee camp is just fucking crazy. Why is it going on like that? Like there's jihadists walking down there having a parade, then suddenly they're shooting.
Yeah,
and it's the terrorist group that somehow got in there too is fighting the what, I don't know what is going on. It just goes absolutely crazy. And then when the baby is born and people see it, everyone just goes calm, like, and it's like, oh, so was
I loved that moment. I loved it. How the fighting just stopped.
I was like, was Tio right then when he said that we should just reveal it and everyone will be fine with it? Like, this is validation for him the whole time. That, when they did it, it proved it. Although there's like 1 second when they're outside the building and then someone takes a shot and then everyone
it starts back up again. As soon as they're out of range.
Yeah, everyone shoots it wherever that gun came from.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay.
That was another one of those single tracking shots I was talking about. Like, it was one like long camera pan. And I wonder like how many times they had to do scenes like that in this movie, because some of it is so seamlessly done. Like I said about in the car one, like they're doing panning around the car with all the people talking, and then the stuff happening outside, and then them having to drive around, and people attacking them. It was just one long panning shot, and just like that one too. It was like there was a big fight happening, and then the reveal of the baby, and then everybody goes, stop, and then it was just silent. Everybody wants to have a look at the baby, and it's a long tracking shot until, like you said, the shot happens, and then it starts happening again.
All my stuff is a lot of questions. So for the whole movie, like, why is the school totally abandoned, and yet the immigrants are like so easily found and rounded up? Like, those immigrants just live in the schools because no one's fucking there.
Yeah. Or the deer live in there. That's their abode.
When the baby's born and stuff, like there's a baby crying, and at first they're still kind of hiding it. And no one, like the few people that are around don't really know what it is, even though there's a baby crying. And like wait, you're telling me it's been 18 years and no one remembers what a baby sounds like? Like, there's been lots of people who were alive.
I don't think it's not that they didn't know what it sounds like. I think that they just couldn't believe what the hell they were hearing. It's more like there's no way that's a baby. There's not a chance that could be an actual baby, because it's been 18 years since there's been a child. So then, like, just hearing it, be like it's like a recording of something or some other thing that's making that noise. Like, it's more of a disbelief than anything, I'd say.
And then like the part, so like Theo gets shot, and I knew like when that happened, like then they kind of brushed it off, like because he kind of just sprays gunfire towards Theo's direction, and he reacts, like he just like flinches in a certain way. But then they go on for like maybe another 10 minutes through the war zone and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's no blood or anything. Like, I was just wondering, like, did I see that or not? And it's not until they're on the boat out at sea that he's like, she sees the blood. She's like, oh, look at all this blood. He's like, oh, it's just me. It's like, really? You had no blood on you until you got out here, and you didn't act at all like tired.
I just don't think he would have noticed it. I mean, inside his clothing dripping down, and them walking. I don't think he just would have noticed it.
I don't know. That bugged me, because I knew it was gonna, like, okay, he's gonna reveal he's been shot, and it just happens there. Same thing, like before they showed up in the refugee camp, I was like, I know that those terrorists was Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm gonna call him Chiwetel Ejiofor.
We can say his character's name. I have it written down here. Chiwetel's character is Luke.
Yeah.
Much easier to say.
I know he's gonna show up. I knew he was gonna show up. Like, there's just so many things, like, okay, like I said, this movie felt really paint by numbers. Like, I know these terrorists are going to show up again, and at the end of the movie, I know Clive Owen's been shot. He's actually going to bleed out. And it's like, it's just, that kind of stuff really bugged me about the movie. It just felt really predictable and stuff. And then, like, yeah, at the end, I was like, I don't even know why everyone is fighting here. It's like everyone just shooting at everyone else. You don't know who's on whose side. Yeah.
When they ransacked that building, everybody's shooting. You don't know who's on whose side. It's like, who's good, who's going to be on their side, who's going to be against them. Everybody's just fighting.
Like I said,
it's not obvious.
Terrorists are in there. There's this jihadist parade going on with like dead people. Then like he jumps behind fucking cover, and you're like, okay, there's a bunch of people hiding there as well at one point. It's like, okay, who are these people? Are these innocents? Are they on this side? You have no clue who anything is. It's just so. What am I supposed to get out of that?
That's what war is. You don't know who the hell you should shoot. Just shoot everybody. It's the realistic look of war.
But yeah, I guess if we're trying to get through like the story, yeah, they end up in a camp and they take a boat out from there where they find this Humanity Project. Is that what it's called?
I think it was Humanity or Human Project.
Human
Project. The Human Fund.
What is this? The Human Fund. Whatever. Exactly.
George Costanza.
But I was just like, I don't know what they were supposed to do. I don't remember, I know they were talking about they were trying to research or help. I don't even remember what they were doing.
I think it was just a place where the child should be able to grow up and be away from society and all of the testing and I'm assuming that most places would want to do testing and as to how this child exists.
But that's kind of where the movie ends. You see them getting picked up, but that's it. All our characters that we kind of really knew are dead. Mm-hmm. The pregnant woman who's now a mother is also alive with the baby, and that's about it.
And you have to assume that the boat that's coming is the one that's coming to help.
Yeah.
You don't see her get on the boat. You don't see. Well, I mean, you might see some of the people just kind of silhouettes or whatever, but yeah, you don't really see what happens.
Oddly enough, probably a day or two before I read or watched this movie, I was reading Reddit, and it was like movies where it's supposed to be a happy ending, but it's so ambiguous. You're like, I don't know if this is really it. And someone said, "Children of Men," they get picked up in the boat, and it's like, this is not a good thing for humanity. It's one child that happened. Yeah. We don't know if it's gonna keep happening. Then it's gonna.
We don't know if it's gonna start a chain reaction in any way. Or
we don't even know if the Human Project or whatever it was called, the foundation,
if it's even real.
If it's good, they might just be as corrupt as everyone else.
Exactly. And
it's just like.
And that's Alfonso Cuarón. I read something that he said that he wanted this to be a movie where the story starts at the end of the movie. And I can understand what he means by that, because you don't really know what happens, and you technically could have a whole long story based off of the end of this movie if you wanted to. But I don't mind ambiguous endings as long as I felt satisfied with this ambiguous ending. A lot of movies, they have ambiguous endings, and I'm just like, I have no idea what happened, and I hate that. Whereas this one, I felt satisfied. I can come to my own conclusion that yes, she got picked up by the Human Project, and they were good, and they helped raise the child, and maybe they discovered a reason for why this was happening, and I can make my own conclusion. Kind of like the end of The Wrestler, it's ambiguous. Did he die or did he not die,
I don't know. I didn't feel, this movie left me, there was nothing that I really grasped onto that gave me okay, this is why I watched the movie, because I like this part a lot. There was nothing that really stuck out to me, and I was like, oh, okay. I know you said you when the baby, everyone clears away. To me, that wasn't really a thing. It was like, okay, this is a really movie thing. It didn't feel natural to me that people would act that way. It's like, okay.
I don't know. I could see it. It's just everybody's just so dumbfounded and blown away at the fact that there's this new child. They don't know what to do. They're just gobsmacked.
Oh, I think they're we seen Tio earlier on didn't care about the youngest person dying. So okay, there's people who are just going to be apathetic. Mm-hmm. But then I also would be there's going to be people who are just fucking strung out of their minds on drugs and shit, and they wouldn't even have the
fathom what's even.
They wouldn't be able to comprehend what's going on. They just what man? Especially people who are in the war zone. There might be someone who's shot and bleeding out, and it's get the fuck out of the way, save my wife or something. Yeah. They wouldn't care about all that. It's just
no. You
can everything on a pause button.
Sing a baby. That's gonna change everything.
Yeah.
No, I love that moment. I thought it was fantastic. But okay, that's a bit of a synopsis of the movie. Now we can get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of the movie. You can start yourself if you want to. Go ahead.
I don't know if you call it the soundtrack, but they have a lot of UK inspired rock.
Yeah.
Almost like anarchy. UK anarchy. I don't know.
Is that what Michael Caine's character is playing, that loud?
Well, not that stuff.
More noise, whatever.
But they do Goodbye Ruby Tuesday. It's a cover.
Yeah.
But it's it's got the distinct. I don't know what you call it. The just this British rock.
Punk rock.
Punk. Yeah, but it's specifically British. They have a certain tone to it, in my opinion, anyways. I'm saying. And then the end song, I think during the credits, "The Cunts Are Running the World," I think is the name of the song, or yeah, and I was that's a really it sets a tone, right? Mm-hmm. We're in England, and everything kind of fits with that, right? So I really like that soundtrack of the music playing. It comes up several times, right? Different songs. When I think we're with Jasper, we hear it quite a few times, but yeah, I just like that soundtrack. It really did it for me.
And for me, mine, I already mentioned it. This is cinematography. I love movies that do single tracking shots. Like some movies, like actually another one of Alfonso Cuarón's is Gravity. It's a single tracking. The whole movie is a single camera thing. Obviously, they do splicing here and there. You can't do a whole movie recording like that. But this movie did that multiple times. There would be like multiple, like maybe 5 minutes, 10-minute cuts of just a single movie. And I thought it was done so seamlessly. I thought it was so beautifully done. And I think a lot of movies have tried to copy that since then. I thought it was very effective. It kind of brings you into the movie. It brings you into these moments a lot more than a camera pan here, then a camera shot there, then a camera shot there. You know, I think it really brings you into the movie and the mood a lot more when it has that single motion. Kind of like 1917. That's a tense movie. It's a war movie, and again, it's a one long camera shot. And so I love that. The cinematography, that's my number one, like, good thing that I like about this movie. I'll go to the bad, I guess.
I guess I'll lead with bad again. I guess I'll lead again with bad.
Okay.
But personally, I just never really felt the connection to like any of these characters. There's one exception in Michael Caine, but he's not really in it a whole lot. But like, I mean, like Julianne Moore died. Like I felt like it was maybe going to start something. Like, oh, I get to learn about her character and Tio. No, and Tio is just so apathetic with everything. Like he's going through the motions to try and help these people, but I didn't feel any connection with him. Like everyone we meet, I was like, I don't really care for any of these fucking people.
It's a good thing because none of them live.
Well, some of them are questionable, like Luke.
Like Luke's character, yeah.
Maybe.
I think he blows up.
Yeah, it's very possible he dies, but we can't say for certain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that crazy Romani lady that helps him out in the camp.
Yeah, that beats her husband. I think it's her husband. She beats like to death.
She survives.
Yeah.
That's about it.
She helps him get out. She's actually a helpful person.
I mean, his boss at the office, maybe, and the rich people.
Oh yeah, the art guy and his son.
Yeah, I didn't really connect to anyone, so it was so hard for me to get in this movie because I didn't really care about anyone. Like if we sat with Michael Caine's family more, I'd be like, I would enjoy that a whole lot more than anything else. But that's not the movie.
Pull my finger.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do. Mine, I had a hard time. Actually, I really like this movie, as you can tell. So I actually had a hard time picking something I didn't like. But I'd say when you see the baby, obviously they couldn't use a real baby, so it's like an animated CGI baby. And honestly, for the most part, it's done quite well.
I think it looks pretty good.
It looks pretty well. But there are moments where it's too animated, where it's moving its arms, its legs too much. A brand new baby wouldn't be doing that. So it's a very nitpicky thing. I had a hard time picking this. It's still better than like the Twilight movie baby. If you've ever seen that, that thing's horrendous.
Let's see his face.
Or even the American Sniper baby, which is just a doll, literally. Oh. That's terribly done. It's better than those, but I just thought it was a little too animated when it moved. Still a good baby, just my little nitpick thing that I didn't like, I guess. And then the ugly It doesn't have to be something negative. It's just something that stood out in the movie, either as odd or just you want to talk about it. It could be bad.
Oh, I lit on everything.
Okay. So my ugly is going back to that art guy. I want to know what the hell that hand game that kid was playing. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that they would even have games like that in the future, because this movie, things started to take a turn like a year or two after this movie took place, like 2006, 2007, something like that. So would they still be developing new technology that he'd be playing a game on a phone like with his hand like that? I just thought it was just strange. It stood out. I don't hate it. I just thought it was odd that we don't have that yet. I just thought it was strange that he had this weird game that he was playing with his hands.
Maybe it was something like they thought there was some kind of neurological element to people not being born, so they were doing like research with it, and then someone was like, oh, I can make this into a game, and they just
I don't know. I just thought it stood out for me, and they just said these cubes that he's moving around.
I'm just trying to explain it.
I know. It stood out as a moment for me. I thought it was different.
For me, my ugly, like, I couldn't get over it. Like, I want to know the specifics of why people can't have kids. Like, tell me the science and stuff. Like, they're infertile. Why are they infertile? Like, what are their ovaries just when they're born they're dried up, or what is the science behind that? Mm-hmm. Like, I need to know. You can't have that being the central plot. For me, I can't have that being the central plot, and it's kind of like, look, we're not going to get into this. They just can't have babies. Forget about it. I was like, no, I need to know.
I mean, it would probably slow down the movie a little bit, but how would you naturally weave it into a story where they tell you all the ins and outs of why women can't be fertilized?
I feel like a lot of this has stuff with like that crosses over with The Last of Us in a way, and I feel like cordyceps is a really good way to just say it.
I would say, I bet you they definitely borrowed from this movie to make The Last of Us. I could definitely see a lot of things that kind of are the same.
Something else that I didn't bring up before, and it's not like part of my good, bad, and ugly, but just something I realized is like, it kind of starts out in London, then he goes to a little bit outside London to wherever Jasper lives. Doesn't seem that far. Mm-hmm. But then they go to these people that Julianne's terrorist group is with, and they go far out there. Like, I can't remember where they said they were going. Mm-hmm. They go far out, but then she gets killed there and betrayed. Then he comes back, and like, it just feels like they're constantly going back and forth, like across London. It was like, does not seem like a very big area. You guys are not really going anywhere. You just keep going one way and then the other. That bugged me too. Just to end up in the middle of the ocean. I mean, you could have just gone there in the first place.
So that's good, bad, and the ugly. Let's do some reviews that we found online. I always go Letterboxd. I just look at the Joe Schmoes of the world and see what they like about this movie. If they liked it, they didn't like it. Mr. Lewis Lightning likes to look at the reviews of the professionals, the people that do this for a living. Let's look at the professional reviews first.
Sure. So I kind of get stuff. I try to go high to low, but usually, like my big thing is I want something that I feel like, okay, I can see what they're saying. Even if I don't agree with it, I see what they're saying. And it's like, I can explain that. Like, okay, yeah, I get what they're saying. So here, we'll start at the higher end. The Chicago Tribune. It is that rare futuristic thriller, grim in its scenario, yet exhilarating in its technique. Score of 88 out of 100. So yeah, it's definitely a grim story. Like, when you see the society, like, I wouldn't want to live there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just, people are getting beat, people are getting rounded up and caged. Yeah. And like, the only ones that really survive are just kind of like, I feel like drones in a way. People who are still working there, like, they're all following the news of that kid and stuff like this.
And even in London, like how dirty the streets are. Like, they don't even have, I don't think they have a garbage man working anymore.
I like that those weird scooter bikes. Is like, is that a thing in London? Or like, it was kind of like what I associate with like Asia, where they have people like a cab on the back.
Yeah.
Is that something in London today, or is that something they said is going to be in the future?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah. And the exhilarating is technique, towards the end when things are popping off and that, certainly in that refugee camp, it's like everything's just going nuts there. So that was definitely exhilarating at the end. Kind of more in the middle, I got something from The New Yorker. It's a film that you need to see, not a film that you especially want to. Score of 80 out of 100. Okay. So it's very depressing.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, like the ending, like I said, I found it very ambiguous. Like I said, with the Reddit thing, people were like, this isn't really a happy ending. Like, it's good for maybe one person, but for the story of the world as a whole, it's like, it's not really, especially, you can't point to it and say, things are getting better now. It's like, things are good for one person, or maybe two of you, like the baby and the mom. There you go, two people. And finally, on the low end, the Baltimore Sun. As great as the film looks, the story, adapted from a novel by P.D. James, never quite comes into focus. Score of 67 out of 100. Okay. And I definitely felt like there was some stuff missing. Like, I haven't read the novel, obviously, but I felt like some stuff was missing there. Like, I wanted, to know more of the background of how this happened, who some of these characters are, and stuff. Like, I feel like there's more there. Like, maybe there's more about Jasper. Maybe there's more about the pregnant woman's life.
I mean, Jasper, you get a little bit. Like, that he used to be like a political cartoonist.
Yeah.
So you kind of get a little bit of backstory there, and you saw his wife too. She's kind of useless. She's kind of a vegetable.
Useless.
Well, no, she can't do anything. I'm saying she doesn't. She can't literally do anything.
She's a good paperweight.
Yeah, kind of.
You could practice your braiding on her hair. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, and you get a little bit about Julianne Moore's character, like you said. You find out that him and her used to be an item and. Yeah, that ping pong ball trick was super sexy. I agree. Well, that's the reviews of the professionals. Let's move on to some reviews from Letterboxd that I found. So this is going to be, this is a half-star review, so this person didn't like the movie, obviously. My third attempt at watching this movie. This time I made it past the Picasso on the wall rich guy scene and all the way to the CGI ping pong ball scene in the car before turning it off. I've been so curious as to why so many people love this movie and I still can't make it through the first act. Well, I think that's your problem, is you're not making it through the first act, because that's when it gets good, is after the first act.
I identify with him. if I wasn't set on watching it for this, I probably would have been like, eh.
I don't know. I think I like the ping pong ball thing. It showed their relationship.
Yeah,
they have a past, but that's not neither here nor there. Then this guy's review: Masterpiece in 2006, Masterpiece in 2022. So they obviously watched it in the last couple of years. Few movies have aged so terrifyingly well, from the depiction of immigration to the autonomy of bodies or lack thereof. My vote for the greatest one take in film. Would sell my soul to watch it again for the first time. This is a 5-star review, this person. And I get a lot of what they're saying. I do think that there is some really good cinematography. I do think that there's a masterpiece in there with all that stuff.
I don't know if it's the greatest one take of all time or anything in here.
I don't know if it's the greatest of all time, but I do think that it might have started the one take. I don't remember seeing any movies before this do this.
No.
Yeah. The one take thing. So I feel like it started that idea that people might have put into their heads. Like Birdman might have saw this and went like, hey, I think we can do a full movie like that. And then this last review is another 5-star review. It's true that I tend to exaggerate when it comes to certain films, but in the case of this film, I truly believe that it's no exaggeration to say that this is one of the finest technical accomplishments in the history of cinema. I may be a little exaggerated there, but I do think it is a fine technical achievement. I do, like I said, there's so much they did cinematography-wise in this movie, and I think it's beautifully done. And I think we mentioned that it definitely, you can tell that it has kind of given inspiration to other games and movies, like we said, like The Last of Us. So you can totally see where that stuff kind of comes from. I don't know if it's from the movie, from the book, where they would have borrowed from, but you can see it right in here for sure.
Yeah.
But then I guess we're going to go to our reviews as well, too. I can start with mine, since I've been looking at you for the most part. So I love this movie. I hadn't seen it since 2006. Watching it a second time, I appreciate it even more. Like, what I remember the first time I saw it was those long takes, and especially the one with the baby and everybody pausing for a moment to just watch the baby. I remember that more than anything. But yeah, watching it again, I appreciate a lot of this movie, and I had a great time with it. It's up there for me. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Even right now, I'm feeling like, maybe I didn't like it as much as I wrote down. Like, maybe, but I'm gonna go with what I had then, because I'm like, that's my experience watching it, and I got out of it. So I give this a 7 out of 10. I just found it pretty average. Whatever. It's not bad. There's nothing really bad about it. But I just found like you're gonna be sitting there for me, I was sitting there mid-tone the whole way through, waiting for something truly interesting to happen that never came. Just a bunch of, like I said, paint by number stuff. I thought this was all pretty predictable and not too exciting.
You could kind of see where it was going in the story.
So I wasn't too interested. But
I'll say there was also, like, in this movie, I do like a lot of the attention to detail of certain things. Like, have you noticed at one point, like, Clive Owen, he's wearing a sweater and it says London 2012. So obviously the London Olympics was in 2012, which I thought was kind of a cool addition, because this came out in 2006, so they would have known that the London Olympics were coming, the London Olympics. So that was kind of a cool little detail they threw in there. And the scene where they bagged over his head and they took him and they had him in that room with all the newspapers. Apparently they had to, like, create all those newspaper clippings, because it was set after a certain time, so they wanted to have the newspaper clippings from after 2006 or whatever year would have started and taken place. So that was kind of a cool little extra details that I thought were in this movie. But yeah, that was our take on Children of Men. Like I said, this is post-apocalyptic month, or maybe we'll just call it Apocalypse Month. We'll just cross out the post. Cross out the post on there. We have another movie that we'll be talking about. You go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Mad Max. I mean, it's a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
And you might hear that and be like, oh yeah, I like Mad Max.
Yeah.
You do not remember the original, or you haven't seen the original, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the original 1979.
Who says they don't, 1979, who says they don't love it? They may still love that.
Well, I think most people hear Mad Max and they're thinking The Road Warrior. Yeah. They're thinking Fury Road. Maybe even Furiosa, because it's more modern.
Maybe even Thunderdome, Yeah.
Wow. But I don't think most people are thinking of the original. Yeah, this is a very different movie from, I would say, the rest of the Mad Max. It stands aside, in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, that's next episode.
That's next episode. And where can we find you as well?
I am The Lewis Lightning on Twitch and on YouTube. Twitch, I'm playing games. YouTube's got a bunch of games I've already played, and I got videos up there. You can check it out. It's older stuff, like PS3 era stuff. So check out YouTube for that. Check out Twitch for modern stuff.
And you can find me all over the place, like on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, where you can find me as CountryBoy9er. But I'm also known as CountryBoy_9, a bunch of different places, like Letterboxd, where I review movies. But yeah, check me out, all those different places. Plus another channel that both of us are on called Wasted Opinions.
Yep.
Sometimes we do movie reviews, sometimes we do video game reviews, but we also talk about movies and TV shows and comic books and what have you. We talk about everything, wrestling, whatever. Just check out that channel as well too. We have a blast doing stuff on there. Yeah. But for the time being, that's going to be it for Children of Men, and I'm going to go smoke some strawberry cough.
Let's go make some babies.
Make them babies. See ya. Lost a kid and all
she can
that
catch
stuff.
a ping pong ball.
And that happened. Damn it. Couldn't quite make it. I was hoping to make it to the end of the episode. Damn it. Okay.
Into the fridge goes.
Oh yeah. And we were talking about... oh yeah, you were talking about your last review. Okay. So I said I do my reviews and then our reviews.